more about the investigation, and the reason for the investigation. I know that the detectives have already talked to you, and, they've also talked to me. Did they ever call you? Okay, but they talked to me. And we just wanted to, again, find out why we were using the computer to search those items.
I was just browsing in between the cycle time, between the downtime. It's only been somewhat recently that I started using the internet on that computer. I didn't mean no harm whatsoever. I was just browsing the computer. I Googled some stuff, look at a different subject. Yeah, I look at some historical events, some weapons system, mass shooting, assassination. I also read about food. I read about culture. I read about economic stuff. It was strictly between the downtime and the cycle time. All the tasks and all the duty was still being performed. Sometimes there's downtime. Gauge go down, true break. Maintenance guy work on it. That might be down for hours on it. I'm just standing there not doing anything. So I didn't think it was gonna be an issue. If they have talked to me early on and said, hey, don't use the internet, I would just get off there.
Well, I think that if we would have seen that you were just browsing for like food or current events that weren't mass shootings and massacres and things like that, that may have been a conversation to have, to say, hey, let's find you something different to do in your downtime. But in the world that we live in today, when we see people searching for those things, it raises red flags, especially in a company. And so that's why we did our due diligence, called in the police, let them ask you questions along with us that night.
Well, I understand the concern, but all because someone read about some past event, some violence event, doesn't mean I go out and I do those violent things. I was just reading about them.
Right.
If they have brought this up, I will immediately have stopped. It would not been a problem. Just talk to me for 1 minute, say, hey, we saw that you've been using the internet, we don't like you looking at that kind of stuff on our computer. I would just get off there. I've been working for this company for 12 years now. Never caused a problem. I come in and do my job. It just recently that there was some downtime. Click on the Internet Explorer, turn on there was internet on that computer. So I just started browsing stuff. I didn't cause any harm to nobody. The company didn't lose any production time or money. I was still doing all my thing. I understand the concern. I understand you guys being cautious. And of course, I'm not mad or angry that you guys call the cops or anything like that. I just think it was like, to me, it seemed like an overreaction. If you just have talked to me directly, this problem would have been over within 1 minute.
You know,
Yeah.
go ahead.
But John, right, it's one thing if we are just using the company asset to search current events, football game scores and things of that nature. But as Tanya kind of mentioned, if you think about the environment that we live in today, right, wrong, and different, right? It's more about that subject that you were,
Yeah.
reading about, right? That you were, whether it's just interest about, hey, it's historical and I'm reading through that or whatever. The reality is, if someone walks over to that computer and that's what they see in the browser history, it's like, whoa, wait, right? Because you never know what, not saying you had any ill intentions. It's just the fact that you pop there, I walk over and I see that as an example. It's like, whoa, right? And so then, because of all of the events that has taken place, that's why we had to take the steps that we took.
Okay, I understand that. I'm not mad that the police was involved at all. I'm not mad at ATC. I was just reading some stuff. If it was a concern, just come talk to me, and the problem would have gone away.
Well, we did come talk to you. It was just that the steps in which we came to talk to you, because of the nature of the search history, it had to include others. But we did come and talk to you, and that's what we're doing right now. We didn't accuse you of nothing. We said, hey, we wanted to get the right people involved at.
All right,
Yeah.
I completely understand.
Okay.
That's
And
not,
that's what that I guess that's what we're trying to point out, John, is it's the what you looked at. Look, put put yourself in someone else's shoes, like Sean was saying. If I'm just a coworker and I walk over there and I open up that computer and I see that you've looked up assassinations and mass shootings, I'm thinking, whoa, is this dude? I know. I mean, is this dude fixing to? Is he fixing to snap or something? I'm trying to put it in more layman terms.
no.
You know, is this dude
And could
fixing
put
to?
people into hysteria.
Yeah,
about
and
it,
then they
too.
go and tell, hey man, I was over there looking at John's computer and I seen where he's looking up mass shootings. And they go tell somebody, and all of a sudden we have hysteria out on the floor. So that's why we took the steps was taken. We want to make sure you understand that that's the portion. Get past the part where he was looking on the computer and on the internet. You know, that's something that should have been done too. But us get to the point where the hysteria, the word I'm looking for, I guess. You know what the gratitude
I
that
didn't
could go to.
I didn't mean to cause any kind of panic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're not
just-
saying you did, but we're just saying how it could go there. You know?
I understand it could, but I've been working with this company for 12 years now. I never have any kind of fight. I never caused any problem.
Right.
You're
I would
you're,
just-
you're, you're
I-
preaching
I-
to
I'm
the
not-
choir there
I
because
understand the cautious, the step they take to keep everyone safe, but I'm not a threat to anyone's safety whatsoever. I would just read some articles. It's a problem. Talk to me. And then they talk to me, and I say, oh, okay, just when I come back to work, just stop looking at the internet. Just do
Yeah.
something else.
and
Find some-
these guys will tell you, I've been your, I've been backing you the whole time, and I'm sorry, I said I've known John. He's the one employee that's been on nights since 2013 when I went to nights. That's been the same employee that's been with me the whole time. You've been on nights ever since I went to nights. I've changed leads, supervisors, employees everywhere, except for you. I was thinking about that after this all come up, and I'm sitting there thinking that's the one employee that I've had the whole time, and I told him I've never had issues. When you're caught up, you're going to get done, and you're doing all kinds of stuff, and I can come over there and tell you, you know, John, I need you to work tonight. When the test stand was down yesterday, can you work overtime tonight? Can you show up tomorrow on Sunday? And you never told me no. And that's what I've been your biggest supporter the whole time. But we got to make sure that the steps was taken. It wasn't a deal that we could just come over and say, John, quit looking at the internet. It's John. This is what you was looking at the internet that could cause hysteria throughout the plant. That's the point we're trying to make. Is it's
I understand that. I was just reading. I didn't mean no harm to nobody. I have threatened nobody. I'm not a threat to anyone's safety. If I'm allowed to go back to work, I just gonna resume my duty, as you say, for the last 12, 13 years. I would just resume my usual duty. I didn't mean to cause any kind of problem for anybody. I didn't think me looking at some Wikipedia page will cause any kind of major concern. Yeah, I look up some mass shooting. That doesn't mean I go on and I do. I'm not planning on doing anything. I'm just reading about stuff. As you know, I shoot gun on my day off, and and some of those stuff involve guns, so I just look at them, and that's it. I was just reading about different subject matter.
But do you understand that when you don't know someone and you don't know their personal life and you see that they've looked that up, that it could cause some concern?
Yeah, I understand that. I understand if someone who don't know me whatsoever come up and
Right.
see that, it might have caused some concern. I didn't mean to cause any kind of panic, any harm. I was just reading some articles. I didn't think anyone would even care. I was on Wikipedia. It was a safe.
Well, we're not used to dealing with something like that, which is why we called Oklahoma City Police to come.
And then I'm all right with that. I talked to the police. The
Yes.
detective called me. I told him what I told you. I said I was just looking at some articles. I didn't think it was gonna cause any kind of problem. I'm no threat. I'm not playing. I'm no evil intention. Just reading between downtime. The company wasn't losing anything from me reading. I was just in between cycle time. Sometimes a unit take 3 to 4 tests to pass. something go down, makes my machine go down. I gotta text the maintenance guy to come out and look at it. It's some downtime. I just reading. I didn't mean to cause any kind of hurt to anybody. I was simply just reading. I understand some of those subject matter I was reading was heavy, but there was a past event that was done by someone else. I didn't do those events. I'm not planning to do anything. I'm just reading, and it was if someone would say something, hey, stop being on the internet, stop reading stuff on the work computer, I've just gotten off it. So I was just hoping to be reasonable. I read some mass shooting. Doesn't mean I do them. I just read about them. I read about some historical event. I didn't do none of those events. I have no. I literally mean no harm to nobody. I was just reading a computer article in between the cycle time. I didn't think it was gonna cause any kind of reaction like this. I thought the worst case scenario was maybe I get a warning saying, "Hey, get off of the internet. Don't be using our computer," and I will immediately have complied. I never caused this company any kind of problem.
And I just want to make sure we separate a couple things, right? Number one, no one has ever questioned your work ethic, your commitment to the organization, and what you bring to the table. You are a model team member.
Yes.
There is no question, right? It was like, I remember you from my first time being here during 2015 through 2020. You used to be the one that was running the 5R110 at night. And then you would bounce over to the 6F35 and you just head down, boom, 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 and you would knock out 50-something units almost a night on 5R110. And then on first shift, we had a team member that barely gets 30. So no one's questioning your commitment to the organization and what you bring, right? I wish I had a cloning machine to produce many more of team members that operate as John does at the plant. So separating that though,
Okay.
right? It was, so if we set that aside,
All right.
100%, right? That's not what we're talking about.
Okay.
If the subjects that you were, let's say these subjects never came up and it was other things just random, you're absolutely right. We would have just said, hey, John, we're not going to be using the company computers in that way. Meaning to look up sports. We are not supposed to be doing that, right? Understand downtime, whatever. We just don't want to have people just going and looking up the internet on the computers. That's exactly what we would have done. And it would have just went to the side, right? So the only reason that caused us to be where we are was just because of the subject matter of those articles, right? Even though they're on Wikipedia, it was just, okay, wait, based on the nature of those, we know you from you operating at the job and all of that, but because of that, and let's just say there's been